For instance, China, within 40 years.
Greetings, viewers, and welcome to Writing Center channel. The NIJ is today looking at solution journalism for lecturers. The speakers are NIJ General Studies, Maureen Popoola. Others are here.
To drive this, because in our system, everything is based on government solution. We depend on government to give us everything, or to help us to do everything. It's just recently that we started having community radio, community this, community before now, and if you go up north, let me tell you, everything about them is based on government. So there won't be that political way where people will not embezzle money. People will put the citizens first in whatever they do, and it's there. It's there. We hear of Matawale or whatever his name is, and there's this back and forth he has with the present governor and all of that. We know they embezzle money, and so people don't feel the evidence of democracy. Even if you put in your solution journalism forward to them, do you understand what I'm saying? It will still go back to the fact that there is no political will to do anything for the citizens, and we know for obvious reasons. That's what I want to add.
Madam, sometimes we don't have to wait for government. You understand? Sometimes we can mobilize ourselves and be the change we want. So everything does not have to be government can do also what? Mobilize ourselves.
We're saying the same.
And like I said in some of our stories, I used to live in a street that if I used to call my former street, Ikoyi by force. Because we said that we are the ones living on that street, not government, so we must make the street what? Livable. You understand? With the roads, any little patch like this, we patch it ourselves. We fumigate the streets regularly, provide street light. We even add a generator to provide what street light so that there's always what? Light, particularly in the night. So we realize that we are the ones living there, and so we should do what? Make it livable. So others too can be taught that way, that you don't have to wait for government always. There's some neighborhoods, total access of government what? Presence. But you know, in some areas, so people are doing this for themselves. Let us do what? Let us mobilize ourselves and do this for ourselves, rather than do what? Wait for government. Like market, many markets, we don't have toilet facilities. Let us be the ones trading in this market. We are the ones that should be concerned about what sanitation in this market. And so let us do what? Mobilize ourselves like people in so market did. If you remember the story of Madam Belewura, yes, what's her first name? Alimot Belewura. She was an illiterate, but what she did as leader of Lagos market women, she died more than 70 years ago. But what she did, no market woman leader has been able to do that despite the level of what? Education. So what can you use that one as an example to do what? Mobilize some women to do what? Take charge of certain things. There is no government always. This is about ourselves. So that is one of the things that Sojo advocates, using an example of where this has worked in other places to now do what? Mobilize ourselves. Yes.
My own stake on this. I'm talking about social journalism. Yes. The bottom line is solution. So there will be what we call a major team, and will now lead us to solve things. And also from the angle of paradigm shift. Where are we coming from? Where are we? And what we intend to do in the future. For instance, we have issue in the capital of Maiduguri, where floods involve hostings.
Man-made floods.
Yeah, I know. Man-made flood. Which we have to look at it historically. It didn't just start 1-2 years ago. We have to go back to know how the thing started. Solution. How money was being given to whoever was there, what they did with that money, and as of today, as I'm talking to you and I, billion or more than because of the same projects, we don't know what will happen in half of that. And beyond that, I said something that we will begin to have the kind of shift that government. But people are involved. If government has decided to put money to the states, correct this, do this, who collects it, who expends it, who deposits it, and giving a proper accountability will not be where we are. And also, the minister said something recently that he wants to set a kind of a youth conference in his speech. And they realized that the youth drive the nation good. He needs to, but he has forgotten too, the youth that he wants to recognize. What happened to the NSAS? Then, what happened to the 3-day protest? What the kind of the future foundation are we going for our youth? What led to the Yahoo Plus and Yahoo Extra and all that? So we must go back to the basis. And those who are going to be in charge of this policy making too, they must have the sincere heart. Somebody gives us money. You know that the right way for that to begin embezzling money. And the money will not go to the person who is meant for. It becomes a problem. So we have to look at the political angle, the social angle, but all the factors, all the indices that involve. And we'll begin to work on an extra. We did this only sometimes. What result are we getting? What can we do to improve? As we are sitting here today, let just stand out something. We must know the cost of fuel. There have been cases that this country today. That is not important. But we are still into it. As of today, we don't know when we are going to get out of this economic one. About that petrol, you say it's 15,000. But you're not sure about it. What's anybody think about it? We talk about 3 days and all that. So we have to collect really informed. So that's why I have to advocate journalism and also see journalism in line with solution analysis and what we do. Definitely issue by issue to begin to look at this.
Thank you. Please, I have a question. Oh no, Deputy, not you yet. I have a question, and the question borders on my confusion, so to speak. And I think it's Mr. Cami that should answer the question because he went that way in the beginning of his speech. I am confused. It seems I don't understand the difference between, I'm yet to understand clearly the difference between solution journalism and developmental journalism. Or is it development journalism, whichever way you want it? Development journalism. So what is the clear distinction between them?
I would say that there's a synergy instead of a difference.
Okay.
There's a synergy, there's a relationship. Because development and solution is something. So you don't look at a problem in isolation. That the journalist should not look at a problem in isolation. But that problem has a background. And then you seek for solution to that. Don't stigmatize people. Rather, begin to look at people who have the capacity to bring that problem to a halt. That's what development journalism is all about. Now, when you begin to
the use of media for development, use of media.
Okay.
When you begin to put labels, you are creating more problems rather than solving those problems. So focus on the solution. What is the way out of this matter? Then, and you do that, and that's where features like the deputy provost mentioned that when I was sitting comes in. Features is more detailed. Features will always look for a solution. Features will go and pick a story that news has already feasted on, and begin to look at solutions to that problem. I think it's the same thing that solution journalism is talking about. Journalism that looks for solutions. Journalism that looks for development.
Oh, okay.
I think I can just throw a different perspective to that. Maybe we should look at solution journalism as a physical manifestation of developmental journalism in the media. It's like developmental journalism is more or less like a philosophy. While as far as journalists are concerned, what they do, what they write, when they want to put developmental journalism into practice, the outcome is solution journalism. Because you cannot say, oh, what I'm writing developmental story. It sounds somehow. But if you say your story is a solution journalism oriented, it makes more sense. Whereas what you are doing there is something that is encompassing what developmental journalism is all about.
But there was something that Tony mentioned. I wasn't quite clear, particularly your introduction. So what exactly? Because you were trying to take it up from where Mrs. Popoola stopped. So I can't recollect exactly what you.
Well, some of the things I talked about, a little bit of the history in terms of how it actually came to be. And
Okay.
the people that were actually involved. The people that were involved in it, it was these two journalists. In 2010, they actually now decided that news stories have actually been all problematic and all of that. Okay. Going away from it, let's find solutions. They are mostly negative. Let's find solution to this, and then that was how solution journalism actually came.
Okay.
That's how.
I want to ask some question or maybe a statement. We have the 4 pillars of solution journalism. I think the first thing they should start with is problem. Before other pillars will follow. We cannot throw away the problem and then we say we want to just start. It should be included in the 4 pillars.
But we should not focus on the problem, but rather on the responses to that problem.
No, the time we the time is
Okay. There's a slide.
Print categorizes in print how you're expected to do it, paragraph by paragraph. It says the first paragraph, the response, then summary of the problems that led to the response, should be highlighted. Then the second paragraph, it says the evidence in terms of data and the data in terms of data on the problem, including the response of your of the country in terms of looking at countries trying to prepare and perform. And it goes to the third paragraph. What are you expecting to go into the insights, quotes from authorities, from responses from the implementer and all of that, and relevant authorities. And then the fourth and fifth paragraph, the limitations and more evidence on the results from the data and all of that should be analyzed. And then the 6th and 7th paragraph, insights from other parties. That was second implementer elsewhere. That was the problem that you are actually handling. Who implemented it, and all of that. Then you now refer to another country, for example, and say the same thing, more like the background information. Yes.
But Dr. Degmele wanted to say something at the time.
Okay. To me, though they share the same focus, but they are quite different in outlook. When you say solution journalism, that means we are going deeper to identify a problem and then provide solution. But when we discuss, talk about development journalism is talking generally about development issues. So if a journalist, is going on a solution journalism task, that means he's going there to identify, say for example, I remember I sent my student 2 years ago to go and do a story. I think they should look for, they should go to any community, identify a problem there, and then speak with the people within that community, and then come up with the solution to that problem. In fact, they did a documentary on that particular area. So what they found was that, okay, they went to Ikorodu, Igbodo. So road towards Ikorodu was so bad that people were complaining, very unmotorable. In fact, the people were saying it is only when politician wants to canvass for vote that will come to them. After they've given them their vote, they leave them to their problems. So the students were able to identify the problem, which is bad road in that community. Then they engage the community. They interview people, community leaders, ordinary people in the society. Again, those people, they said this is what they want from government. From there, they met with the community leader, and then the community leader give the position of the community, what they have been doing on their own. In fact, they were told that the problem, they can't surmount it. There's only government that can come to their aid to give them lasting solution. So what they've done, they now met with government officials. Though some of them, local government officials, they said initially they turned down their request to interview them. But later they said, okay, this road belongs to the state government. That the local government they have the capacity to fix the road. So when you now look at the entire thing they've done, you discover that they identified a problem. They, they met with the stakeholders who are involved. They solved their abuse. They met with the government agent. Let's just put it like that. And what they got is that government is doing something, and they will soon fix the road. So that is the essence of
the way Mr. Anthony Oligbo is looking, it appears he doesn't seem to agree with you.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just listening so that I can get the gist of what he's saying.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Oligbo,
the response of Dr. Oligbo,
now
that has always been the case. Government has
we are looking for solution here.
Government has always been saying that they will look into cases of problems like that, and they will not.
One thing the media does is drawing attention. They may not be able to provide solution, but drawing attention, by drawing attention over and over, government will look into something.
That is for development.
Yes, development journalism, yes.
Okay.
So, for instance, maybe the print media, they do a story on that place. The broadcast
Like
media
advocacy.
also, yes, advocacy, acting as advocate for the people. So they may not be able
For
to
necessary
provide
intervention.
solution, but drawing attention to that problem will make government officials to sit up and tackle that problem.
Oh, okay.
That's the development journalism.
Okay.
I want to add.
Speak up, oh.
If we say sojo has to do with also related to development journalism, and I think it should also be participatory, since in the stories you're still going to ask people the evidence based, what they have done, how they have done it. So it must be participatory in nature for you to have a complete story. And then secondly, you talked about approaches. Can you enlighten us more on the approaches of sojo? You talked about approaches.
For example, it's narrative. One of these, you still write in the narrative way. Once you are just expected to just follow the 4 pillars. By the time you follow the first one, response, linking it up to the problem, as it were. By the time you follow it step by step like that, that is just how you write. And then don't forget also, you also add
that aspect. You gave an outline. And to my understanding, that outline is areas that you're supposed to cover where you are supposed to be. Now, your presentation will follow another order.
Not yet.
Because when you're presenting, how do I approach this story in a way and impact? And if that is the case, you cannot find out what you have exercised as number 3 and 4 can take it back. So those highlights, you are supposed to recognize. If you're doing social journalism, you have to cover this area. Because you are going to need a response to do the story. I think that's the way I'm asking. Because when you really look at it, you find that some things should come before the other, but you are placed ahead.
Now, let me just ask this question very briefly, and I want to ask specifically Dr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
How far do you think Nigerian journalism has gone as far as solution journalism is concerned?
Well, when we look at the Nigerian journalism spectrum, particularly modern day journalism, and compared to what we have in the past, I will conclude that the type of journalism practice is what I call patronism. Journalists have become patrons of the commercial class of people with political interests, compared to what we had pre-independence, post-independence, and under military interregnum in Nigerian politics, whereby journalists held government accountable, made demands for democracy, and ensure transparency in government. If you compare the activeness of journalism then with activeness of journalism now, you agree with me that there's the need for us to address some salient issues with respect to what should be the role of journalism and journalists in the larger society. And I think that's one of the things that's the gap that the people with the idea of solution journalism shouldn't be about criticizing. Journalism is about bringing, if you look at the concept of the fourth estate of the realm concerning journalism, it's meant to bring about order. It's meant to serve as watchdog. It's meant to ensure that the judiciary perform its function, the executive perform its function, the legislature perform its function, and every other institution of the state perform their function. There's no overreach. And in the process of doing that, they ensure that there is compliance with rules and regulations, and they also ensure that there are solutions to the problem. And I think, and that's what this training is all about, and I think that it's well needed at this particular point in time for us to draw the attention to those that are practicing that beyond criticism. What are the alternatives, policy alternatives that we can bring about in solving our